But you know what? We haven't talked about basketball yet.
Well, shoot, it's a shame it's only 10 minutes left.
Yeah.
That's how quick the show goes.
Yeah, let's get into the NBA.
How about them Pacers?
How about them Pacers?
Undefeated. Paul George, number one fantasy draft pick for me at the number 8 spot.
You know what? I've been critical of Paul George. I say, like, last season, he's been getting a little bit overrated when people are saying he's going to be the next big superstar. I mean, Paul George was amazing.
Look at the numbers, Shay.
Looking at the numbers, indeed. He's through 4 games this season, he's averaging 27 points per game, 4.3 assists, and 8.8 rebounds. Knowing that Danny Granger is going to come back for this season, he still hasn't really materialized yet. He still has to come back. But Paul George is at that small forward spot, and he's not giving that job back. He's not moving to the shooting guard position. He's going to stay the small forward spot. He's going to stay the focal point of the team, and he's showing it with the Pacers being undefeated. But
real talented.
Yeah, real talented. But also, let's get into our former New York colleges, Syracuse, and Michael Carter-Williams.
Right,
He's having a legendary season so far.
Yeah, he led the 76ers to beat the Heat earlier in the season. I think it was the second game of the year.
Michael Carter-Williams, the first rookie to be Player of the Week in his first week since Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah. That was back in '92.
Yeah.
So it's been 21 years since that happened. And MCW, I know a lot of St. Johnny's. I know a lot of people down here don't like him because he was with the rival Cuse, and now he's with. If you're a Knicks fan, he's with the rival Philadelphia 76ers team. But I mean,
skill, man.
Yeah, he's got a lot of skill. I picked again fantasy basketball. I picked him up with one of my last 3 picks.
You're a genius, James. You are a genius.
I got a shout out to my roommate because he was kind of my draft room pal there. He was giving me advice, and I took it.
Well, what do you know? Philadelphia is 3-1. This is the team that's supposed to get Andrew Wiggins by the end of the year. This is the team that's supposed to tank.
Wait, this wasn't supposed to happen, guys. This wasn't written up.
This wasn't supposed to happen.
Same thing with the Jets.
Yeah, same thing. Yeah. What's wrong with this year, guys? Evan Turner, he's also averaging 20 points per game. But let's break down Michael Carter-Williams. I was watching B-Ball Breakdown, and for all you folks, all you YouTube watchers out there, all you basketball fans, search B-Ball Breakdown. It's excellent, which Coach Nick breaking down like everything that happens in the sport. And he broke down how Michael Carter-Williams was effective against Miami Heat. He took it back to his Syracuse days, using his knowledge on help defense with his zone. He's using that, plus with his 6'6" size frame, and that's how he gets 3.3 steals a game. On defense, you can't make a cross pass when he's on the floor, because he's going to take that in an instant and go on a fast break.
Yeah, that was the Syracuse calling card, long and lengthy, and you learn some good stealing tactics when you're playing that 2-3 zone because you have to use your wingspan. You have to learn to play lockdown defense. And also, the 2-3 zone and playing zone in general requires a pretty high-level IQ to constantly knowing where you need to move when the offense is as well moving on the floor. Because it's kind of always taking a new shape and moving around and trying to figure out where it's got to be and where your assignment's going to be. Michael Carter-Williams learned it from the best with Jim Boeheim.
Yep.
On top of his offensive skill set, long and lengthy, so it translates well to the NBA game. I think that's a great pickup. I saw him on my draft board, because I know our team's actually very similar. And
yes.
We had no clue that was going to happen.
No, well, we both had the number 8 pick in the first round.
And we both picked Paul George.
Yes, of course we're not in the same league, so because that's impossible to have.
Clones.
Yeah, we both picked Paul George, and then I think we both went with Deron Williams. We also got DeMarcus Cousins.
Mm-hmm.
So kissing Cousins.
That's my fantasy team, and I like that. But yeah, so we do have a lot of similarities with our drafting strategies and our teams overall. But you didn't pick up, and you picked up former St. John great Mo Harkless.
Yeah, I had to give love.
Yeah, I was gonna do that, but I didn't.
Give Mo Harkless some love, our boy.
I was going to do that, but someone at my draft picked them early. But we can also get to the Knicks. I know John touched this. They're going to be, quote, putrid.
I mean, when you
strong word.
Yeah,
Why?
When you lose against the Charlotte Bobcats, I mean, Michael Jordan's the owner. He's not the player. It's no excuse, especially at home at the Garden. They're just not playing good defense right now.
They're not, and that's not even. They're missing J.R. Smith, but he doesn't even play defense.
Yeah.
So what's going on? And Tyson Chandler also just got an injury. Knicks fans are scared about that.
Yeah.
He was the leader of that defense. He was the number one guy. Their defense was already bad with him. Think how bad they will be without him.
They were one of the top defensive teams last year. Am I right? And he was in the running for Defensive Player of the Year last year.
Yeah, he was also Defensive Player of the Year 2 years ago.
Yeah, so that's a huge blow to this Knicks team, especially to a team that doesn't do well on defense.
But what about the Nets? The Brooklyn Nets, the new-look Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah, they beat the Heat, second game of the year. It was an impressive game. Deron Williams, they're kind of easing him back in along with Kirilenko because they were injured in the preseason. So Deron Williams, he's kind of being eased back in there. But, Brook Lopez, he's doing his job. I think he's leading the team with, 18 points per game. They're finding ways to win. And, with the overhaul that they did, with the trade that they made with the Celtics, they're looking good early on in the season. I mean, of course it's early. There's less than 5 games played. So, take this with a little bit of a grain of salt. But early indications are saying, the Nets, they're the team to beat in New York.
And Nets are going to have a good matchup coming up. They're going to be playing the Pacers this coming Saturday. It'll be a nice little matchup on NBA TV. So that'd be a great thing to watch out for, too, because, the Pacers, you defeated the Miami Heat, great, but you keep getting these little milestones where you keep playing the upper echelon teams, and it really allows you to measure yourself out. And you look at Paul Pierce, too, I have to say this. Him playing more quality minutes and not the quantity of the minutes really makes him a real asset on the floor and being able to be a finisher, because he's always been clutch. But now with the quality of the minutes, and maybe it's decreasing, and you're able to kind of push out the workload, under Jason Kidd, who at 2-2, we're going to see how this team shapes out, and if he can manage it and everything like that, I think that they've got some great pieces in place, and I'm interested to see on Saturday. I'm definitely going to watch it, how it works out against the Pacers.
I mean, a lot of people, the Pacers are always under the radar because, they are from Indiana. You don't really hear that much about them. But
they don't have the breakout star player, even though Paul George is molding into one.
Yeah,
right.
But, it's a small-town team, and it's good to see because, with all these small-town teams, they work together toward that goal. It's much like the Kansas City Royals this year. They had a great season, almost made the playoffs in baseball in the MLB. And so, but this Indiana team, they made the playoffs last year. They made a deep run to the playoffs last year too. And they're primed to do it again.
And let me touch on the Nets real quick. I'm just saying, as a Celtics fan, it is still extremely weird and hard to watch Paul Pierce in a different jersey. Yeah. He just does not look right. I mean, I'm not a fashionista, but he looks better in green. He just looks better in green. I just can't picture him in a different jersey.
The thing with him and Garnett is they have to kind of, like you said, it's not about the quantity of minutes with these guys because, they are older. They are, more experienced, I guess is what they'd like to be called. But they need to be, not play as much so that they kind of have to save themselves for the later part because this Nets team, they're destined for the playoffs this year. I think,
so we think.
Or so we think. As of right now, preseason predictions, they're destined for the playoffs. They made the playoffs last year. They're looking to make the playoffs this year. So if these guys want to perform well in the playoffs, they have to, kind of hold back a little bit and save a lot of their energy and save their bodies for the playoffs in the second half run.
So, good show, guys. We had Tariq Turner from FS1, ESPN, and SNY. He's a Big East analyst on TV. He's also the color guy, because color commentary for television for St. John's.
Yep, on ESPN3.
Also had on our very own John Hargan, an alumni of WSJU.
Former Cover 3 great.
Yeah, the Johnny alumni. Let's talk about each one of us real quick. Final minute of the show. What was your highlight of today?
Highlight of today. I got to go with Hargy. I love talking to him. I miss him a lot. He's great. He's great to talk to. He's just a great guy overall. And it's great to hear from him on the show for the first time this semester. He sounds great. I know he's working, so he's doing really well. So it's good to hear from him.
It was great having Tariq on, but I gotta go with John. John's our boy. It was great hearing him again. We'll hopefully get him in the studio on here on Cover 3 again.
Same here, guys. Tariq Turner, he was great in breaking down St. John's, but John Hargan was back. He was better than ever. Yeah, He sounds like he never left. But just some upcoming games for today. Chicago and Indiana at 7. Clippers and Orlando at 7 as well. Phoenix, San Antonio, Dallas, OKC. And guess what? We can't just go on without this, but Red Sox win. Red Sox win.
Red Sox win.
Okay, see you later, guys.